Hi, I'm Diane Kokora, CEO of PartnerPath, and welcome to Technology Channel's videocast. With me, I have a special guest, Meaghan Sullivan at SAP, and she has all of marketing for the SMB team of SAP. Wow, say that 5 times fast. Hi, Meaghan.
Hi, Diane. How are you?
Good. Looks like you're not in here in Palo Alto.
I'm not in Palo Alto. Today I'm coming live from New York, where we just had our annual SME Summit with all of our great customers and analysts and press. So I've got SME on the brain today.
All right, so today we're going to talk about digital demand generation. And Meaghan, you're really a trailblazer here. So I wanted to get a few questions from you in our little video cast today.
Great.
Why is it so important for SAP to be really working with partners around this idea of digital demand generation? Why is this on the top of your list these days?
So it's definitely on the top of our list because, as you know, Diane, you've helped us with the customer buying journey, and everything has changed in the last 5 years, where customers are buying differently, partners are engaging differently. The entire channel landscape is different than it was before. And so as we transform with the industry, we need to make sure that we are giving the partners what they need to capture the hearts, minds, and awareness of consumers who are now looking for products differently than they did before.
So this is really all driven by, as we've talked about many times, the idea that the customer's journey, buying journey, is changing. Thus, the partners kind of need to get on the bandwagon.
They do need to get on the bandwagon. If they're not on the bandwagon yet, they're almost missing that boat. So they need to get there.
So that's a great question. Do you see a lot of your partners really kind of adopting digital demand generation activities, or are you still dragging them along?
So I would say that we definitely see a desire in our partners to get there, and a lot of them asking for help and advice and mentorship of how to do it. And so lucky enough, we have the resources where we've been able to go out there and really help them with some we call them marketing excellence workshops. We also have digital assessments that we can go out and really get into our partners' business and understand what they have today and what they could have in the future. And then we have like a bevy of offerings, everything from free to paid, depending on how deep they want to get. We will help them along that journey with SAP.
And is also all of this kind of optional for them? Is it something you serve up and let them choose, or are you starting to drive this as requirements for them in terms of participation?
I'd say it depends. It can be optional if they don't want to use MDF, but the best way to earn MDF dollars and to use it is to have digital marketing assets at their fingertips. So we have basically made a transition probably in the last year where all of our offerings in the digital marketing catalog for MDF eligible activities are all around digital or social innovations. So we do still have some partners that like to do traditional events, but it's a lot harder for them to get reimbursed for that these days.
So your MDF is really going towards all the cool stuff.
It is going towards the cool stuff. And by the way, it's driving, ROI is showing that by doing the digital assets, they're actually driving a whole lot more demand than the traditional marketing activities of the past.
And do you make them produce ROI, or are you measuring that ROI for them? How do you get that ROI? That's always a big question, right? Who has to report ROI?
Yeah, so it's twofold. If they are using SAP-led assets and we can get them into our systems, it's easily to track the ROI for that because we've got a hold of that data with them. But we do offer a lot of assets that our partners can actually take on their own and do their own demand generation with it. On that side, the partner really does most of that tracking on their own.
Okay. And most of this, I know that you guys use a Veritech for a lot of your partner marketing, kind of your hub there. And so is all that tracking done through the Veritech solution? What do you guys call it? You have a name for it. It's pretty cool.
It is. Yeah, we call it the virtual agency. And we've had a long-standing partnership with the Veritech where they've built a custom platform for us. And it's really the digital marketing hub for all of our partners to come on and find all of the assets and everything they need in kind of a one-stop shop. There's 2 parts to virtual agency. One of it is a self-serve model, which is completely free. Partners can take those assets, use them as they wish, and take them to market. The other half of virtual agency is really the customizable modules where partners can get in there, and it'll be assets, both help from SAP as well as third parties we will plug in there and go to market together. So really trying to offer our partners, full breadth of what they can take, depending on how much investment they want to do.
And some of the stuff that you guys plug into that is, as you mentioned, third party. So do you give them humans to go help them do stuff with?
Well, again, it's everything under the sun, right? So that we could either do something virtual with them. We have a lot of offerings where we will get in line with them virtual and do things, over, the web or whatever. And we also offer third parties, either bodies from SAP or from third-party vendors that will go in and really dig in and help with their marketing. And I think, Diane, you and I have talked in the past about when you concierge a partner and get in there one-on-one and really help them with their planning. Studies have shown it's a 30% uptick in pipeline and revenue by doing that. And so the return on investment is definitely there for those partners that really want that help and want to put the investment into it.
Yeah, and certainly, we see a lot of that same data that when we're really helping the partners generate their own leads, that they grow their pipeline and they close bigger deals and faster deals. And I know that's really great for the partners, and I assume that you're also seeing kind of that pull through in the SAP business as well as just across the partners business.
So as we go out and look at the SME space as far as SAP is concerned, it's quite interesting. 90% of SAP's business is actually brought in by the SME segment, which is, you would never think that, right?
What? Did you say 90?
I did. We've got a ton of business going on in the SME segment. Most of that business is covered by partners. As a matter of fact, there was a statistic in today's event where when we get a net new name to SAP right now in the SME business, 99% of the time is brought in by partners. So you can imagine like our message about partner first and making sure we have the assets and everything else in place. And it's very interesting too. We talk about this customer buying journey. If you look at the SME market, and you know this very, very well, those customers are buying by being influenced, right? So it's all about influencer marketing. It's about reaching them through digital tactics and then pulling them back to the partner ecosystem and letting the partners then fulfill that business. So super important for us to give those partners all those digital assets they need so that they can get in on that, that pull through.
And I know you're doing, and I hope you'll be able to talk about the really cool thing you're doing around AI.
I would love to talk about that. So as you know, technology is key. And we like to think here at SAP that we're on the bleeding edge of offerings next year and where we're going. So we've partnered with Veritech, and they have built a module for us that is basically artificial intelligence for our partners. So within the virtual agency, partners can load up their customer lists, and the program will run through all their customers and give a deep analysis on who those customers are, what their titles are, what their social footprint looks like, what they might be searching for, and it'll give us a real confidence level in terms of hot leads, cooler leads, kind of where those partners can go to find their business. We are super excited about this offering. It's going to be MDF eligible for our partners starting in January, and we're one of the first companies that is going to be embarking on kind of the AI for partners. So it's like my most exciting thing, I think, coming up next year.
I mean, it's really cool to be able to take our technology and the data that we talk about and AI that we talk about so much in our own technologies, and that we're not really using or leveraging as much for our partners to be able to help them grow businesses and understand and have that great data around cool leads, good leads, or even kind of that account, that being able to manage those accounts or drive account-based marketing.
That's right. And as you and I have talked about before, I love the phrase partnering is personal, which came up in the last roundtable we were in, where all these consumer technologies of the past, like the predictive analytics and purchase intent and what the next thing you're going to buy, all of those technologies now coming into the enterprise space. And we're able to offer and extend that out to our partners to be part of that footprint with SAP. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you take the partnering is personal, and then you take all the data that is very not personal and kind of be able to marry that together and provide your partners, I think, a really cool offering that can help them be much more effective in their markets, thus create a higher ROI, because they may have to invest less to be able to close and find those deals, and then be able to sell more is always our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And, our business in the past has always been large enterprise, but our opportunity and where we're going is definitely the SME space. And the only way to get SME is net new names and customers we don't have yet. And the only way to get that is to really look at new and innovative ways to get our market reach out there, and the awareness and consideration to the market that we actually have products for SME. A lot of them, by the way.
Yeah, people probably don't realize that you have. Well, I mean, let's talk about it. It's really the M. Let's not,
Right. Correct. Yeah, definitely more of a kind of a mid to upper GB is what we call it in the SME. Correct.
Well, thank you, Meaghan, for talking about all these great digital demand generation activities with your partners in the middle of a fire drill.
Thank you, Diane. I'll remain calm and stay seated.